What's going on YouTube? My name is Marcus, aka Apostle, and today I am bringing you another Spellbreak guide. This time we're going to be talking about the Frost Gauntlet. I want to talk about the Gauntlet in particular because I want this video to be useful for everybody and not just people who are playing the Frostborn class. But if you are playing the Frostborn class, I am going to have tips in there for you as well. So if you're interested in Frost at all, this is the video for you. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as check out the Twitch stream down in the description below. If you want to go above and beyond in supporting me, you can use my creator code APOSTLEOG. It's usable in the Epic Games Store or in the Spellbreak store. So if you want to throw that in there when you're purchasing gold or another game, I would really appreciate that. We're going to start this video off with some more basic tips about the Gauntlet, and then we're going to get more advanced as we go along, finishing off the video with the fight breakdown. This breakdown is actually going to be part of my kill record gameplay. I hold the kill record for Spellbreak beta, and I happen to break it with the Frostborn class and Gauntlet, so if you want to see that, I'm going to put that link in the description below. But what we're going to do with this fight is we're going to go through and slow it down and break down everything that was happening and exactly why I made the decisions that I was making. I honestly think this is the most important part of the video, so be sure to stay through the fight breakdown. Anyways, let's get into the video. The Frost Gauntlet is mainly a long-range gauntlet, but it has some mid-range potential. The longer you charge up your frost shots, the harder they're gonna hit. This gauntlet is most similar to a sniper rifle. If you decide to pick up the Frostborn class, you're gonna get a few buffs to your Frost Gauntlet's primary attack. For level 1, when you fire your primary attack, it's gonna create an ice trail below it that you can use to skate on for increased speed. Personally, I think this is one of the funnest things in Spellbreak. Once you hit level 2, if you're in the air when you're charging up your primary attack, the Frostborn class is going to allow you to float, giving you a little bit of time to keep the high ground longer and making your shots a little bit easier. And once you hit level 4, you're going to actually be able to overcharge your frost shot for increased damage. All you have to do is charge up your shot for a little bit longer than you normally would. As for Frost Sorcery, you're going to cast an AoE ability that does no damage but freezes anybody inside of it. This ability is actually more useful defensively than offensively. This is because you can use it to block incoming fireballs, wind shears, and lightning bolts. It becomes even better defensively if you take the Frostborn class. Once you hit level 3, you're going to unlock an ability that causes your sorcery to make you invulnerable while casting it. It's also going to increase the range of the sorcery. You're going to want to get really good at casting your sorcery while running away. This is going to block incoming shots and slow the people that are chasing you. Or if you cast it right as someone jumps on you, you're going to freeze them in place and easily turn the fight around. Now that we've talked about the basics, let's talk about a few other gauntlets that you can pair with Frost. Since Frost is best used at long ranges, you're going to want a closer range gauntlet in case someone gets in your face. For this, you can use Fire, Wind, or Toxic. If you choose to use fire as your secondary gauntlet, you're going to want to be careful because your fire puddles and your flame walls are going to block your ice shots, so sometimes you can get in your own way. My preference to run with Frost is Toxic. This is going to give you a really fun burst damage, shoddy sniper style build. I really wouldn't want to pair Frost with Lightning because they're both longer range gauntlets, so you have no close range damage, and often fights end up close range in Spellbreak. I also wouldn't recommend using Stone if you're playing the Frostborn class. This is because Stone is going to break your frost trail. This turns into a mist that freezes whoever's inside of it, but the issue is oftentimes you're going to end up freezing yourself more than the enemy. Now that we know what to pair Frost with, let's talk about which rune you should use. Frost tends to be really reliant on keeping the proper distance to use it effectively, so you're going to want to find a rune that really helps you do that. Flight, Teleport, Dash, and Spring Step are really good for this. However, if you're playing the Frostborn class, you can easily use your trail for keeping distance, so this makes the longer range runes like Flight or Teleport a little bit less useful. I tend to use Spring Step or Dash because these are going to give you an advantage in a close range fight, while also still allowing you to create some distance to get your frost shots off. Alright, now for my favorite part of the video, the fight breakdown. Since this fight is from my kill record gameplay, there's going to be a lot going on since I'm fighting a lot of people. I'm going to show you the clip first so you can see how it plays out, and then we're going to go back and we're going to break down exactly what I did. Let's roll a clip.
Oh, he's 1 HP. The Marla. Green Marla.
Oh, yeah, got her.
Nice, 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 nice.
Feed me, Bastion, feed me.
Yeah. I'm here for you. There you go.
Oh, I hit that guy. He's low. Get low. I hit those.
Let's go.
Oh
Animal
no.
Farm.
There's so many people. Oh, 1 HP. Get back here. Yes.
Little boy in the storm, right in front of me.
It's like right here. Oh, you're low too. Jeez, Louise.
Let's go. Dude on that tower.
What is this game?
Fireballs.
This is a possible like kill record. Like honestly, I might like break the kill record with this one.
There's 2 of them.
Oh yeah, give me the
One
shots.
up here on me. Peppering him up a little bit for you.
I touch him in the butt.
He's just health.
Ow.
Like 80 of them though.
Like
Way
80
out
of them.
there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now that we've seen the fight, let's go ahead and break down what I was doing in it. As you can see, I'm running the Frostborn class here. I'm running an Epic Frost, an Epic Toxic, and a Blue Dash. And then for my talents, I am running Harmony, Dexterity, and Recovery. I'm running Harmony because it feels kind of necessary with the Frost Trail. This is because if you're on your trail and you run into somebody running Wind or Stone, they can break your trail and then it turns into that mist that I was talking about earlier in the video and it'll freeze you. So Harmony makes it basically so you just won't get frozen from your own trail if it gets broken. Dexterity makes it easier to manage your mana with your levitation and stuff so you can move a lot easier. There's other things in this category that can be better, but this is a 1 point cost talent, so it's not a huge deal. I think Scavenging is the other one you can take. But since we're playing duos, Scavenging doesn't really give you a whole lot because it gives you health on kill, but you don't get it on down. You only get it once the whole team's wiped. So it's really not that great in squads, so I tend to take Dexterity in a squads or duo setting. And then I'm running Recovery for a little bit of extra tankiness, some health regen. You can also run Thirsty too. There's not really anything against that, but this is just my standard build. There's a lot of other ways you can build it, but I just think Harmony for sure you're going to want to take. Okay, let's get into it. So first off, I run into these 2 guys. Just kind of taking a little pop shot right there. Quick little down. He was not paying attention. Easy to do. So I push his teammate. They don't really look like they know what they're doing too much, as you can see. I don't know. Whenever I see somebody just walking backwards in a straight line or like walking sideways in a straight line in a game, I just kind of assume that they don't really know what they're doing yet. So he tries to Vanishing Mist, and he stays in his own Toxic Cloud, which I shoot with a Frost, which can do one of 2 things. So if you shoot it while nobody's inside of it, it just hardens the Toxic Cloud, and it allows him to not use his Vanishing. He can't go inside of it anymore because it's hardened. But since he's inside of it, it turns into the mist like we were just talking about, and it actually freezes him. So it freezes him, allows me to get a nice little pop shot off. I'm in a rush right now because this is the kill record gameplay. I've got 12 kills, I think, at this point. It's hard to read. Yeah, 12 kills, and there's 19 people remaining, so I'm just running at everybody I see. I jump up in the air. I use my float. You don't have to activate it. It's just if you get to level 2 as Frost, you float, and it highlights the people for you, which is actually really, really nice, the highlight. So as you watch as this guy goes up the staircase, I wait until he gets into the doorway. That's because I know exactly where he's gonna be. If he's anywhere else, he can move any direction, but as soon as he's in that doorway, he can't really move. I just know that he's gonna be in the doorway, right? So if I shoot my Frost into the doorway right as he goes in the doorway, there's no way he's gonna escape it. So I wait for it, I take the pop shot. It's a longer shot, so it requires some more prediction, and they can dodge it or just change up their movement at all. I saw he's low, so I'm pushing super aggressively. Like I said, I'm super kill hungry. I jump up, use my float here, kind of float above him, which don't do this. Looking down at targets is just like a really, really difficult shot. And I got kind of lucky with my placement that he wasn't really moving a whole lot. He was trying to pot up, so it was easier, but shooting directly down at people is difficult. So I'm doing some damage to this guy. He's got his pyro popped, or not his pyro, his vital stone. Back in pre-alpha, this ability used to come with the pyro class. So his vital stone, basically he has died and he's invulnerable and he's gonna come back with like 50 HP. So while I'm waiting for him to come back, I focus his teammate just to be safe. And then right as he comes back to being able to get hit again, I drop him. I turn around right here. I see another team coming in. So I know this, I think it's this guy, right? This guy has no shield. So one of them's low, and then this is probably another full team. So I don't want to be here. It's not terrible since I am running toxic. If I do hit them with a toxic slap on this frost trail, it's gonna turn into toxic puddles and slow them and be a little bit annoying. But I definitely am trying to keep my distance with my frost, so I just try to get out of the way a little bit, try to stay above them. I know that it's two separate teams, so they're gonna be focusing each other. This guy just wants out, so I chase him. So what I do here is I'm chasing him down with my frost trail. On your frost trail, you actually have better acceleration than the other people. So they get the speed boost too, so they can get up to the same max speed as you, but they take a little bit to get to the max speed, whereas you get it pretty much instantly as soon as you touch the frost trail. So I shoot a shot just to try to gain some speed on him, and I shoot another shot to do one of two things. One, to try to do damage. So I basically, if I'm trying to chase somebody down, I try to hit them with my little shots that I'm doing, but also it's really just to get the frost trail down, and it's kind of lucky if I hit them. So I finish him off with that, and then I use my frost trail to push this team back here. I make sure to maintain the high ground. That's a big thing with frost, is that if you can keep the high ground, you can kind of just barely peek your head over the ledge, and they can't really see you, and you can take pop shots really easily. So I'm up here, I'm waiting for these guys to come in, kind of trying to get a grips on everybody around me. This guy's low, so I just hit him with a little toxic slap to try to apply corrosion and take his shield off. I realize he has no shield, so I just push him and then walk right up to his face and slap him real quick. See more people over here. I'm kill hungry, so I'm immediately pushing. Shoot a frost trail just to give me that increased speed. I basically, as Frostborn, I always want to be on my frost trail. It's almost like having dash up at all times, because you can jump up and you can land on it and you can change your momentum. So say I land on the ground and then immediately turn to the right and jump. It's almost like I'm dashing to the right because you gain so much speed so quickly from it. So it makes you really hard to hit and really mobile. And it's honestly just super fun to play. So I know this guy's up here. I throw the toxic cloud down, trying to just figure out where he's at. He shoots it with fire, turns it into dragon fire. I try to shoot him, I whiff, but I saw that his teammate is right here behind this rock. I don't know why my cursor looks like this. Can I fix it? Cursor? That's weird. My cursor looks weird. It's okay, you guys can still see what I'm trying to see. So basically here, I'm in a pretty bad spot because I'm on the low ground. I'm not full HP. I do have a dash up, but I only have one dash. I don't have runic fluency, so I can't stack my runes. And so basically at this point, I'm not really in a good spot to use my frost or my toxic, but I kind of think I'm in a better spot to close the distance and do some damage with toxic. So I push this guy. He actually, if he fell up here, I would have been in a really bad spot, but he fell right in front of me. And as you see, I think he was aiming to be up here, because if he landed up here, he could have just fired fireballs down and I would have had to levitate up to him or use my dash. I would have had to use some type of ability which would have put me behind further in the fight. So if I levitate, I'm most likely going to be out of mana by the time I get up there, so I'm going to recharge and then I'm just going to be right in his face and he's going to shoot me a bunch of times. So that's bad. Or I'm going to dash and I'm going to have limited movement while I'm up there, where it's going to make me much easier to hit. But instead, he falls down. He has his back to the wall, so he can't get away. And I just push him with toxic. He's got nowhere to go. His friend just sucked him in with a tornado. I try to get the high ground just to kind of keep an eye to where he's at. He's right below me. Again, that's a super difficult shot. Try not to be right above people. Try to be kind of like a 45-degree angle and keep a little bit more distance, because the shots, when they're really close like that, it's just a lot of flick movement. It requires really good aim, Whereas if you play the right distance, it's not going to require nearly as much flick aiming, because if you look from here to here, that's a pretty big wall, right? This whole wall. But in aim, I just have to move like an inch. But if I'm right up in his face, if we go back to where... Go back to right about here when he's against the wall. This is the same wall, right? And look how much more space there is that I have to cover with him making that same... It's the same distance of that wall, but I have to move my arm like completely across the table and just hope to hit the flick shot from that range. So you want to be at like a medium range with Frost, because it does have a projectile time, so it takes time to travel. So if they're too far, then it basically turns into luck, because they can change their direction at any time. You're predicting them, which is difficult to begin with, and it requires them to keep moving exactly how you want them to move, whereas they stop for a second and it messes everything up, or they turn around or change their momentum. So yeah, kill this guy. And I know his teammates up top. So notice here, right? So I know his teammates up on that rock where we were just fighting. So I go up instead this way to maintain my distance. I jump up to this rock here, which saves me a little bit of mana. I dash, which keeps me some more mana, and it allows me to get up to this high ground without having to recharge. Whereas if I levitated straight up to this rock here, I would have had to recharge and I would have been in a bad spot. So I see this guy was firing fireballs at my back. I'm assuming it's the guy up there. So I just try to focus him, hit a nice little shot right over the fire. If you shoot above the flames, it'll actually put out the flames and your projectile will keep going. Whereas if you hit the flames, it's going to completely stop your ice. You can use ice pretty well to counter fire if you can play above it. Otherwise, it just blocks your shot. So anyways, I hit this shot, still pushing, using my Frost trail to gain even more speed and catch up to him. And I'm just trying to play catch up here. I throw a toxic, which actually hits this fire tornado here, because I'm just almost in panic mode. I'm just in full W key. And it turns it into a DF NATO, which, if you guys don't know what a DF NATO is, it's a dragon fire tornado. So it's a tornado that has fire and toxic in it. And if you make that combination, it causes an explosion that starts from the bottom to the top. And if you get hit by it perfectly, it'll one-shot you. So it's really dangerous, but it's also really, really hard to do correctly. So basically, I almost killed myself here and ruined the kill record gameplay. And then this guy's focusing Bastion. Bastion's being smart and being on the high ground because he's got stone. So he's avoiding this guy's stone attacks. And then I just get to sneak up and try to slap him in the back a little bit. He teleports out and he makes a really bad decision to pot in the open. He should have teleported and tried to break line of sight. If he would have taken 2 seconds to run around that corner, he could have maybe got a potion off, but instead he pots in the open and I get that shot off pretty easily. So yeah, a lot happened in that clip. We're going to do some key takeaways just to simplify it a bit and remind you of some of the things that I said. First off, if you know someone's a toxicologist, almost always freeze their toxic clouds. This is going to prevent them from using their vanishing mists on you, which is really, really good. It's going to allow you to keep track of them a lot easier. Or if they're inside their cloud, it's going to freeze them. So it's basically a win-win to freeze their toxic clouds pretty much every time, unless you can just do straight up damage and kill them. Another thing is maintain your height and distance. So try to stay a little bit on the high ground. Use that, as I was saying, like breaking line of sight. Like, it doesn't have to be a wall that you break the line of sight with. The high ground actually breaks the line of sight for you. So you can use that to effectively fight with your ice and just have to barely pop yourself out, because your projectiles move really fast. So you pop out, you shoot them real quick, and then you back up, and whatever they threw at you is not going to hit you because it takes too long. Also, holding the high ground against another ice sniper is going to give you a really big advantage against them. Since this is a third-person game and you're looking down over something, you can peek down at them and you can see where they're at before they see where you're at. So you'll have an easier shot and you'll be able to just barely peek out and shoot them, just like I was just talking about. Also, maintaining that medium to long range distance with Frost is really ideal. So while you're playing Frost, just make sure that you're not too close to where you have to flick really far and hit really hard shots that are really close to you, and make sure you're not too far to where your shots become lucky. And possibly the funnest thing that you should remember is always be on your frost trails. It's just gonna, it's fun. It's really fun to just have all that movement. Play around with them a bunch, jump around, change your momentum, change the directions that you're going, and just get really used to moving on your frost trails. I think that's pretty much everything we talked about, broken down into little tidbits, right? If you did find this video useful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as check out the Twitch stream down in the description below. And if you want to go above and beyond in supporting me, you can use my creator code in the top right in the Spellbreak store. If you don't use mine, use somebody's. It's free money to your favorite creator, so just make sure you use a creator code when you are buying things in the Spellbreak store. So yeah, I mean, what's better than helping your favorite creator? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. My name is Marcus, aka Apostle, and I'll see you guys in the HoloLands.